There are several significant details in the talented Mr. Ripley novel that are left out of Netflix's Ripley. The acclaimed new psychological thriller series is based on the 1955 novel The Talented Mr. Ripley, written by Patricia Highsmith, who is regarded as one of the best authors of suspense of the 20th century. The Talented Mr. Ripley is the first of Highsmith's 5-part Ripley book series that also includes Ripley Underground and Ripley's Game, both of which were also adapted into feature films. Ripley has received rave reviews from critics upon its April 4, 2024 release exclusively on Netflix. Ripley's cast is led by an exceptionally chilling Andrew Scott, Fleabag, Black Mirror, All of Us Strangers, as the titular treacherous protagonist. The series also stars Dakota Fanning as Marge Sherwood, the girlfriend of Johnny Flynn's Richard "Dickie" Greenleaf, who is suspicious of Tom's motives throughout. Stephen Zalian, the acclaimed screenwriter of Schindler's List, American Gangster, and The Irishman, wrote and directed the entire 8-episode miniseries, which is shot entirely in black and white. The Talented Mr. Ripley was previously adapted in the 1999 film written and directed by Anthony Minghella, The English Patient, in which Matt Damon portrayed Ripley, Jude Law played Dickie, and Gwyneth Paltrow plays Marge. One of the most notable details left out of the Ripley series is the subject of Dickie's mother's declining health. Emily Greenleaf, depicted briefly in Ripley Episode 1 before Tom heads out to Italy in search of Dickie, is terminally ill with leukemia in the 1955 novel. While this initially seems like a minor detail, it actually makes the urgency of Dickie's return home much more heightened. It also displays how disinterested Dickie is in seeing his dying mother, which is quite alarming and telling of his character. It would have been a crucial factor in determining how he would be received by the audience in Ripley. In the 1955 novel, Tom Ripley isn't as lonely and seedy in New York as he is at the start of the Netflix series. Tom, who is undoubtedly a loner in the miniseries, actually has several acquaintances in New York that he parts with before heading to Italy. He has a roommate named Bob Delancey, whom he tries to avoid most of the time, as well as a social friend named Ed. They actually show up on the ship that Tom is taking to Italy before he starts his voyage. Tom also has a platonic female friend named Cleo who he shows some type of feelings for, making his character much less sociopathic. It's very clear that Tom does not like his Aunt Dottie at all in Ripley because of her abusive treatment of him as a child. The 1955 novel reveals more details and examples of her abuse of Tom, which contributes to his troubles developing as a young adult. Tom blames many of his apparent flaws and shortcomings of character on Aunt Dottie, who constantly called him a sissy and other insults that gave Tom low self-esteem and made him quite an angry child.